Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Fun Friday Ideas with me, Susan Morgan, your speech language pathologist. Today, I'm going to talk about something called visual tracking. I've mentioned it before a couple months back as far as how our eyes are some of the fastest moving muscles in our body and how critical these eye movements are for our ability to learn to read, but also on a more basic level to learn to communicate. As our eyes are developing, they're attracted to these high contrast colors, black and white, and then they're attracted to images that look like faces or actually faces themselves. And as these muscles start to learn to coordinate, that's when we start to get visual tracking development. Visual tracking development is important for communication because how else are you going to learn to imitate a sound or imitate a word if you're unable to track your caregiver's mouth? You require visual tracking skills in order to follow a gesture, to follow a point to another area. You need visual tracking skills. Visual tracking is also important for our problem solving, as we need to be able to track where moving items are in order to get ourselves from point A to point B. Visual tracking is also critical when it comes to following print along a page as we read. So I'm going to give you two activities here that you can use to help work on your child's visual tracking skills at any age, to either work on improving their reading tracking or to improve their problem solving using visual tracking. All right, so what I have here is I have what I've turned into is a pendulum. And what you can do, you just take some string. I have some really fun twine with leaves on it, super fun. And you tie it to either a ball. I have a little donut-shaped ring that I've tied it to, but anything that you can easily tie it to. And then your next step is to hang it from the ceiling. So that way it's going to swing like a pendulum. Ideally, you're going to want this to be at about maybe chest height. Not too low, where your kids have to look down, but also not too high where if they get smacked with it, it's going to hit them right in the face. Unless it's super soft and it's okay to hit them in the face with it. That would be another great way to really make sure their eyes are paying attention to what's going on if it's right at eye level. You can vary the height as well to make sure that their eyes are checking in different heights. So what you do, hang it up from the ceiling so that way it's going to swing. And what I like to do is I like to make a little obstacle course where I have a puzzle on the other side or a whiteboard with magnetic letters or a little magnet, stuff like that. And I have the kids standing on one side of the pendulum, and then they have to either put the puzzle piece into the puzzle on the other side of the pendulum, or they grab one of the magnets that's on the refrigerator or on the whiteboard, again, on the other side of the pendulum. And you set the pendulum for a fun little sway. Not too fast, not too slow, and vary the speed. Sometimes make it faster, sometimes make it slower. The whole trick here is that they're going to have to follow that pendulum with their eyes in order to know when it's safe to go across to get to that puzzle or to get to the magnet. If they get hit by the pendulum, then they have to come back to the start and wait and try again. All right, next we have a similar activity here, but this time we're going to work more with tracking letters. Now, I bet some of you still have some Halloween candy left over. So why not do something fun with it, do something educational? So what I have here is I have a little Mounds bar. And what we're going to do is, again, we have a pendulum swinging back and forth. And what you're going to have your child do is pick one of the letters, or you pick the letter, and have them follow just that letter with their eyes. What might be best first is, again, have them pick the letter and tell you which letter they're following. What letter do you see? O. Follow the O with your eyes. While they're following the O, have them think of other words and list other words that start with the sound the O makes. Ah, O, oo. Have them think of the sound. Again, we're thinking about reading here. We're thinking about visual tracking, letters, and letter sounds. It's important that we don't just think about the words that start with the letter O, but rather we use our brains to kind of remember, oh, O makes the sound O, it makes the sound ah, it makes all these different sounds. Let's think of the words that start with the sound that O makes. So again, grab out that candy. Make sure, so what I did here was I made sure to use a very thin rubber band so that way all the letters of Mounds was still visually accessible. And again, you just track it, follow that letter, and think of words that start with that sound, that letter sound. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about these activities as far as for visual tracking and how you incorporated them into your daily activities. All right, guys, I will see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.